tutorial, we'll review the procedure for having the Living Younger system automatically recommend nutritional supplementation specific to your particular patient's needs. From the Living Younger home directory, click Clinical Management, and from here, click Supplementation. The button that says Nutrients Depleted by Drugs and Supplements to Treat Conditions will open up this form here. First of all, virtually every medication that your patient takes, including over-the-counter medications, with the exception of bioidentical hormones, medications put your patients at risk for various nutrient and nutritional deficiencies. This tool allows you to enter the patient's current medications so that it can identify the risk for nutrient deficiencies. For example, you'll see on the left various drug classes. When I click anti-diabetics, it displays that class of drugs at the top. I'll click biguanides, which is a common anti-diabetic used for a variety of reasons, not just diabetes. You'll see metformin's one of those. Many of your patients are taking over-the-counter medications for heartburn. Proton pump inhibitors are very popular. And a large percentage of the population is on a statin drug. So assuming that your patient is taking these medications, we can now go down to the Nutrient Recommendations tab, which opens up a form, and it's automatically displaying vitamins that the patient is at risk for becoming deficient in, minerals, and other nutrients affected by the medications. Next to the nutrient is a number displaying the risk. The higher the number, the greater the risk. So you can see, based on the medications the patient's taking, vitamin 9, B9, folic acid, and B12 are high risk, higher than, say, vitamin D3. This page here can be printed out for the patient, and if you wish to recommend some nutrient supplementation or dietary changes, you'll do that on this form. And I can prioritize and recommend which nutrients I would like to deal with. So let's pick the high risk ones here. Over here, I can either write in a replacement dose, or maybe I'd like to put in a dietary resource for these nutrients. And if you're unsure of what they are, over on the navigation panel is the Nutrient Monographs tab. This opens up a tab with information about most of the common nutrients that your patients might be needing for one reason or another. Each nutrient has some information on the biochemical effects, indications, dietary sources, dosages, interactions, side effects, and contraindications. So let's take vitamin B12, for example, which was one of them that we clicked. And let's say we'd like to use some dietary sources. So I can copy those and paste those into the instructions here for the patient. So I can either use dietary or I can look up dosages. Now this is for replacement for deficiencies. You have another option here as well. Let me reset this form, and let's now go to clinical conditions. Based on your patient's current clinical medical conditions, there may be nutrients that would have some therapeutic value for them. Let's take, for example, a patient who has vascular disorder like hypertension and maybe high LDL. Let's say this patient maybe also has metabolic syndrome and elevated homocysteine. In this instance, there are some of the same nutrients that you saw before, but also new ones. Again, these are recommendations that may be of some therapeutic value to treat those clinical conditions. Again, the higher the number, the greater the value. Now you can combine this with both the medications the patient's on as well as their clinical conditions to generate an immediate report. So you can just click print, and now you've got patient-specific recommendations for nutritional supplements based purely on their needs. Now you also can add to this if you wish by clicking on one of the sections, let's say vitamins, and when I click there, it places the cursor up right next to beta carotene. So I don't want to enter anything over that, so I will hit the enter key until the cursor is flashing in the first blank area. Then I can type in some other nutrient that I would like to add to the list. You do have access to custom supplementation forms, so you can pre-build a number of these for different conditions.